Okay, we have our end result with our dry technique, and now we're going to do the color application. We'll start off first by showing our color technique. Let's go back to the end result here of FIFI. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a combination of a green intensifier and a blue intensifier, which is stroke 8.8 and stroke 2.2 with 10 volume cream developer. Mix it equal parts of the blue intensifier and the green intensifier with 1.5 of the 10 volume developer. We're then going to use our Paul Mitchell Inkworks, and we're going to do on the top, it's going to be a four-pointed star, and there's going to be a bit of a line, and I'll demonstrate that as we work. So this is 2 parts white Inkworks with 1 part blue, and then we've got equal parts yellow and blue with a dot, yellow and white, Inkworks with a dot of blue. So what that's going to give us is a lime green end result. So let's get started by creating. I always like to start off with the little slice right on the right hand side. So we're going to put that slice into the hair. We're going to I like to do like a little triangle kind of thing, only because you want to see it at the base. So I'll put that and clip that out of my way. And then we're going to create that 4-pointed star. Our base or our round area is going to be where the blue and the green are going to live. So we're going to start off by creating our first point, and then we're going to take it down in the back and create our second point, and then walk across, take a little bit of an up, and I'm going to subdivide this just because it's easier for me to work. And then I'll take my third quarter, and then my fourth quarter. And we're going to start in the front with our technique, and we're going to do the outside perimeter first, and then work toward the top. So let's get that out of our way. Excellent. Okay. Good. Sometimes we tend to forget that little slice, so just make sure that you don't forget that slice, because that's going to come back and haunt you a little bit if you don't have it. So let's clip that, get that included in that blue. Excellent. So we're going to start, first of all, around the hairline, and we're going to comb everything away so that it does not get in our way. And I always like to, first and foremost, I don't have one of those clear shields, so what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of color protect or color block, and what that does is it just keeps the scalp very clean. And then I will put a foil right on that hairline. And then I'm going to outline to define right around the hairline as I go. And this is my green intensifier, which is my stroke 2.2, and my stroke 8.8, which is the blue intensifier. And I'm just taking it and just making sure it's saturated throughout. Take my next section, take it down. Working methodically. I like to work pretty clean and pretty neat, pretty simple as I go. And if I feel that I Okay. If I feel like I need to comb and saturate, I like to do that as well, just to make sure that everything is covered. Last section. Scalp to ends. Color XG is a great new tool that John Paul Mitchell Systems has brought into our color world. It's fantastic. It's designed by European hair colorists. It's for the colorist, and it has a lot of bright and brilliance that goes with it. And I think that is so important in our world right now, because what's happening is a lot of fashion colors are coming into play. So John Paul Mitchell Systems needed to join the bandwagon and get a little bit creative on that. And I'm very excited about that for sure. Robert Crimmings, when he designed the Art for Sake, I think had that in mind. And Mary Como, who is quite an artist when it comes to color, she definitely created a fantastic look for this particular style, for sure. And if you've not ever worked with Inkworks, it's quite a fascinating product to use. So we're going to go around the side. Here again, I'm going to lift up. I'm going to make sure that my scalp is covered. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another foil and I'm just going to draw it straight down. Whoops! Get another foil. Draw it straight down. Maybe I need some on the color. Hold on, on the hair. A little bit more. Just so it sticks and saturates. The color block is kind of like glue, so it just holds everything in place while you do execute your color. So here again, outline to define, outline to define. And I like to work, like I said, I like to work in sections. It makes my life a little easier. Keep it away from the hairline hair. You can definitely check and make sure that you're working right on the foil as you go. And take another section. And here again, apply. As you go, second subdivision, and I'm just separating. And you can kind of see we're right at that one point of the 4 points. So we don't want to bring that into play. So we kind of like want to work around that, because that will be our platform, or this will be our platform until we get to the Inkworks. I like to take small sections as well, just so that color saturation is going to be saturated right from the start, so I don't have any holidays. And I like to check for that as I go through the design. So I have that panel completed. And I just fold that up. Go into the back section. I can move my little hair around a little bit. Check underneath, see where we're at here in terms of pieces of hair. Okay. So let's go into our back. Right along that back panel. Take our foil. Use it once again as our glue. Let's hold that. Subdivide that. Take that whole thing. I think we can do that. Outline to define again. I like to go through. Here's the second point, and there's the third point. And just continue as I'm going. Making sure that everything is saturated as I'm working around, keeping that blonde. I see a little hair here that we gotta capture. I think we got it. So I'll subdivide this and I'll just comb the hair down. And take another section, same thing. Another section. Because she is so blonde, it goes on, the color, the intensifier just goes on so nice. And there's no scent, so it's like wonderful, and your color knows. I know a lot of guests in our salon always say, how come your hair color is so gentle? Well, one thing about Paul Mitchell hair color, it is gentle. All of it is gentle. I don't like the way that's working, so. Okay, there's that. And we're going around. And around again. And I also like to use my brush as kind of like a comb so that I can just totally comb through this, make sure it's evenly saturated, mold it into place. And there you have that. Let me wipe my hands for the next section. And I'll put a section of foil on top of that. Okay. And then we'll work on our last section of the intensifier. So we'll take that hairline here again, and we'll take a little bit more of that color block, and hoping that that sticks to the glue of her hair. Down the side. Okay. As I continue. I love to color hair, and color is like an excellent market into the salon, and I do a lot of hair color in the salon. I have a lot of people chemically dependent on me, and I truly love that because I know I can always do upgrades if I have to, but when they're coming into the salon right from the start, my upgrade's already there. So then I can talk to them about other add-ons. Do they need a little lights? Do they need a little, whatever they need? Supply and be the colorist that you want to. One thing with this particular technique and particular class that we're offering with Art for Sake, one great thing is it is so new and it is so current. And, you see everybody walking around with color and, very interesting shades of color. And so I think this is like totally perfect for the guest who wants to be a little bit more artistic, who wants to, it's more of a shout of color than a spot of color. It's more of a statement of color. And it's not for everybody, but yet it is amazing how many requests we have currently starting to come in. We're in a small town, but we're also in a college town. So we've got to be on that cutting edge of the color world. And I always like to go into our color world within John Paul Mitchell Systems. Lucy Dowdy is phenomenal when it comes to color. And there's some other artists that are absolutely phenomenal in terms of design and application as well. So we just finished our last section. Let me just make sure that that is intact. And we got everything covered from all grounds. And I will go through that at the very, very end just to double check that. And right at the bottom here. So at this point, I like to drop my blue, and I like to do my little piece first, only because I tend to forget that little guy. So let's get our little piece out of the way. So what I like to do is I like to outline to define. Let me move our little, okay. So this is our line, which is our white and yellow with a spot or a dot of blue. This is our Paul Mitchell Inkworks. It's a vegetable stain. The world is endless with the Inkworks. It is amazing what you can do. Plus, it gives that porosity or that the very blonde of blonde hair a lot of moisture and condition. And okay. So I'm just taking it through. Saturating, making sure it is fully saturated, fully saturated. It's a great lime color. And we'll fold it in place so that we know we have that. And then, since we're here, we might as well start on our blue. Let me get this. Once again, outline to define. I can work right on that canvas. There's my little point. As I work around the head. I take my brush and I just come right through it. Next section. Next section. One great thing about the Inkworks as well is the consistency of Inkworks. It's very nice to work with. And we like to introduce to our newest color. People, kids in particular, not just young adults or teenagers, but even young kids, they want a little plug of color. They want a little spice. We also, on Breast Cancer Awareness Day, we also do Pink Day and give Inkworks, you know, for that little event as well. And Inkworks just goes such a long way. You can also use the clear and just use it as an upgrade in the salon as a color enhancement, just to add an incredible amount of shine. And something that we do a lot, just to give the hair a little bit more moisture, Inkworks is just definitely something to play around with. It's kind of like Crayola. Have fun doing it, use it, play with it, expand upon it. Think about your color wheel though, because that's where the color wheel comes into play when using the Inkworks. Basic fundamentals, basic color chemistry. Now you can definitely, which is kind of nice too, you can definitely just use different formulas. Change the formulation. Maybe you don't want a green and a blue base. Maybe you don't want a blue and lime. Maybe you want orange. Maybe you want yellow. So it opens your world up and your mind up to a different end result. And just by using the technique of just the four-pointed star with a little slash in, it's just so much it's so much better in terms of just getting it on the head and just letting the guests relax and enjoy their color experience. Now we're in our third triangle and getting to the end of that, going into our last part of our third triangle, and then we'll work into the end result. Once we do that, processing time is going to be 20 minutes, and we'll rinse it out, shampoo it, I'll dry it, and then I'll show you all the end result as well. So now we get into our last section here. Turn her around just so that you can see where we're at. Outline here again. I love to outline to define. That is something I do all the time. It makes me aware of where I am, and it also makes me know that I did the whole section. Let me move this just a tad. That's the great thing about it. Now let me turn her. Perfect. So finish that. Last point. Last section of hair. Grab that. Can always take that out. So there you have the color technique of FIFI. Base, blue intensifier, green intensifier, stroke 2-2 for green, stroke 8-8 for blue. Then layered on top, the blue and the white, 2 parts white to 1 part blue. And then the little stroke or spice, the little stripe or panel would be equal parts yellow and blue. yellow and blue, oh my goodness, yellow and white with just a dot of blue. So we're going to allow Fifi now to process for 20 minutes, and after that 20 minutes we will bring her back, and I will show you the end result when she is blown dry. So thank you very much. So here is the end result of our Fifi from the For Say collection. She processed it for 20 minutes. I shampooed her with post-color treatment by Paul Mitchell, and then I gave her a bit of detangler and conditioner mix just for that smooth, silky, shiny with a bit of condition as an end result. So you can see the dark is the green intensifier and blue intensifier. The lighter is that 2 parts white to 1 part blue. And then you see that little slice of lime going through on the right hand side just to give it a little bit of added dimension. So I hope you've gained a lot of information from the Arc's sake. I know for me personally, it was kind of fun doing it. I loved seeing the transition of different colors and the intensifiers, and how the intensifiers from Color XG, Paul Mitchell's Color XG played in that role. And it's just mixed in with the Inkworks. We've got such a wonderful array of color, from Paul Mitchell Professional the Color to Shines XG to PM Shine to Dual Purpose Lighteners to Synchro Lift to Color XG. And to Paul Mitchell Inkworks, along with Fast Finish and Flash Finish. So within our whole company, color is a very, very, very important world. And if you're not on board with color, I would love to come into your salon and share with you the information that we've been given and pass it on to you, because I know for me, it definitely has grown my color business. And what would it mean to you if you could grow your color business? I know for me, it's vacation. So without any further ado, I'd like to thank you so much. Grab the information, put it in your color box, use it at the color bar, and let the world be colorful. Thanks. Have a great day.